This week in economics on the 15th of November, and on some platforms it will air on the 16th. This is our presentation from the Bostonred Network here, and this is Numbers Man. This is our alias here, as one would say, but we have several. Also, check out Bostonred, the political part of our little conspiracy here. I guess we'll call it that. We'll be talking about the Affordable Care Act and the implementations there, and you'll hear from Jonathan-Gruber, an economist at MIT. If we have time here, you'll also hear a little bit from him, but this will be more heavily on international developments worldwide than perhaps on American or North American domestic economy, but we will have some things here also. So let's move on with the ship, so to speak. We'll start off here with the International Energy Agency, their report. This is the oil market report for November. It's released on the 14th. Robust output by OPEC and non-OPEC producers keep adding to global oil supply. Global oil supplies inched up to 35,000 barrels per day in October to 94.2 million barrels per day. It inched up by, nonetheless, the oil mid-market report for November told subscribers with a total supply of 2.7 million, more than a year earlier, as higher year-on-year OPEC productions adds to non-OPEC supply of 1.8 million per month. OPEC output eased by 150 there in October to 35.6 million, remaining well above the organization's standard of 30 million barrels there. The oil ministers meet on the 27th against a backdrop of 30% decline in prices since the June meeting. Non-OPEC producers' growth is forecast to ease to 1.3 billion barrels in 2015. Global demand estimated 2014 and 15 was unchanged from the October OER at 94.4 million barrels, or 93 million barrels respectively. So in other words, growth in demand has eased somewhat, and next year it'll be about the same. The OECD industry oil stocks built in counter seasonally by 12.6 in September. Their deficit versus average levels after ballooning earlier this year fell to a the narrowest since April of 2013. Preliminary data shows that despite a 4.2 billion draw there, the surplus continues to swell. Their ORM subscribers this month are also privy to detailed outlook at China's continuing additions to strategic petroleum reserves, as well as a report on how the tightening regulations are shipping demands to gasoline gas oil, from fuel oil. The OCR is a monthly of the Atomic Energy Agency here. And you, of course, can subscribe to this publication, and this is what I'm reading from here. And in October, we won't get to it, but we will subscribe this, and we shall report on it. There lists the oil market surveys online each month. The report is there. Please visit our free access public sites available with a 2-week time limit delay. So this is one that actually they charge for the subscription, and it's called the Oil Market Report. And I think we were just at the public site. Maybe we were not. Oh, I guess we were not. I'll put this graphic up. World oil demand, and this is by billions there. And if we look at it from various people, oil glut momentum in October extended into November, with the benchmark at below below $80. Now, we've talked about this and the need, actually, a strong U.S. dollar, rising U.S. tight oil output outweighs the impact of the Libyan oil supply. There's a disruption, incidentally, in Libya. And ICE Brent was last traded at $78.50. That's down 30% there. Global oil supplies inched up by 35,000 in October to 94 million compared with 1 year ago. The supply was 2.7 higher. OPEC production added, and non-OPEC growth of 1.8% there. So this is some of the same type of figures that you've seen, and we talked about the season demand built in. This is the world demand, and I guess if we go to OPEC crude supplies, crude oil supplies, we're looking at the jumps there. If we get down to Q3 2014, it's roughly at 35.51 million barrels there. So you can kind of see where this is going. Let me move back across this and back to the BBC, where the report initiated here. It's down now. This is Brent crude, and we'll give this at the last two $78.13. We'd like to see it go much lower because, in fact, the developing countries in particular, and the world economy as such, at this particular point in time, is in need of some relief to the consumer. So that will continue to go down. That also affected Exxon. The value there has fallen. It was Microsoft leapfrogged them. Shares traded at $94 as Exxon on Friday, reducing the total value of its shares of market capitalization to $401.9 billion, £256.7 billion. Microsoft shares are at $49.81. They used to be in the low to mid 20s, words around $22, $25 a share. So they've increased roughly about $15. This gives them a value of $410.5 billion. Most production in U.S. oil fields have led to increased supply of oil, just as the world's largest economy, most notably China, has begun to slow down. Now, this is very important. The Chinese do need to slow their economy down to take care of some of the inflation and get some of the air out of the bag, so to speak. As far as Microsoft, well, they moved to a little different kind of business model now, more to cloud computing there, and see where it is. So this currently worth $666 billion. That is China, and where China is in the scheme of things. Let me just go to another. This is Eurostat news release, Euro indicators, and this is flash estimate of third quarter GNP up by 0.2 in Eurozone and up by 0.3 in Euro 28. Now, this is Eurostat released its current GNP data based on the 2010 methodology. Seasonally adjusted GNP rose 0.2 in the Eurozone, 0.3 in the 28 compared with the same period a year ago. Adjusted GNP rose at 0.8 in the Eurozone. And we'll skip that, but we'll go to some of these countries here. The member countries in Q4 with Belgium 0.2%, the Czech Republic 0.3%. We don't have anything for Denmark. Germany just 0.1%. And Greece 0.7%. So they've come out of their recession. We'll get to that in a second here. Spain at 0.5%. This is in Q3. And France at 0.3%. Italy, they're negative 0.1% there. And let's see who else. We'll get to Netherlands 0.2% there. You can see they're very slow growing. Poland at 0.9%, a little bit better there. And we look on to the UK at 0.7%, and the US at 0.9% in the third quarter, better growth there. And if you, I guess, compare the growth, we'll look at the US here. The US at 1.3%, that was in 2013, quarter 4, and in quarter 3, the US at 2.3%. A little different situation. I thought we'd throw that in as we go to the German economy. While the economy having shrunk 0.1% in the previous quarter, another negative figure would have implied a recession. This is a very technical term here. The German growth, together with stronger than expected expansion in France, we talked about that 0.3%, helped the Eurozone to 0.2% a quarter. And we just went through the Greece economy came from a recession. We talked also about that. And Germany at 0.1% in the third quarter. Not very much growth there. Very, very sluggish in Germany. And some effects are on them from the boycott of the Russian Federation there. While we're here, I guess this is all from BBC. Virgin America's shares were up. They surged on their debut there. Bronson is there. He still owns 25% of the company. Virgin America started flying. This is their aeroplane in 2007. The airplane primarily operates long-haul flights from, say, New York to Los Angeles. They have 53 planes in the U.S., Mexico, Virgin America. They have wireless internet. Some things that some of the others do or don't have, but nonetheless, they made their debut on the NASDAQ exchange in New York. So they're out here and on the exchange. A little different there. But these energy prices will have a positive impact on consumers, and also at the same time they have a potential impact on, especially in the U.S., on energy policy with all the fracking going on, etc. That will put things in a little different light than what we would normally have for them. Now, in the House of Representatives, U.S., they passed the Keystone bill. That was to be expected. That's in the U.S. Now, in the oil industry, some giants, Halliburton and Baker Hughes, I think it used to be Hughes, are in merger talks. Baker, the industry's third largest. These are what's called service providers. And Halliburton, the sector's number 2 behind the larger Schlumberger. is likely to face competitive issues there.